Age of Ultron's final chapter begins with Susan Storm delivering a recorded message to Hank Pym sometime before the events in the beginning of the series. The recording is of Pym reminding himself that he inserted a time code activated virus within Ultron at the moment of his creation, and that now is the time to activate it. Pym instantly contacts Tony Stark, who with the Avengers is currently rescuing Spider-Woman from the Intelligentsia. The Intelligentsia has been analyzing a Space Knight, which turns out to be none other than Ultron. Once awoken, Ultron declares he is not ready to face the Avengers and must first prepare. But as he tries to leave, Iron Man activates the code, trapping him with the Avengers. The final fight ensues. Ultron realizes he is being hacked, but it causes him to overlook the virus within him. Eventually, he is defeated. A happy Sue and Wolverine can finally relax now that they've made everything right. Or so they thought. Their time jumping has really shattered the space-time continuum, creating tears in reality that connect different universes. The issue ends on 3 different notes. The Ultimate Universe gets a visit from 616's Galactus, Hank Pym realizes he must make one final adjustment to fix everything, and Angela from the Spawn series appears.
So an interesting ending to Age of Ultron, and before we talk about the larger implications, let's first look at the specifics of this issue. First off, it has to be Ultron.
We finally get to see him, and we have the big fight between the heroes and Ultron, but...
I actually kind of liked it.
Really?
Ultron just, massacring them. That's like the fight I've been wanting to see the entire time.
I felt like he didn't massacre them enough. Like, the first part of the series was him massacring them. Like, they got their asses into him, they got killed. Here, they just sort of get knocked down, and he's sort of just blathering on about, you can't beat me. And then, of course, he just dies right away.
He had numbers at the beginning, just like thousands of Ultron sentries. But an important point in this is the time-release virus worked, and he's supposedly gone.
I felt that it was a very anticlimactic ending, and the anticlimactic ending had been building for the last 2 issues because we knew exactly what was going to happen. The time-release virus was going to just win. What I hated about this was the setting Bendis chose had nothing to do with the beginning of the series. It was from issue 12.1 of his Avengers run.
There was just no cohesion between the beginning of the series and the ending. Because in the beginning we found that Ultron's actually in the future controlling things through his conduit, which was Vision. But here it's like he just shows up in the Intelligentsia fight.
It pisses me off because not only is this series 10 issues long, the conclusion is based off a completely different series, a 12.1 issue that I think a lot of people might not have read at all or cared about to begin with. And not only that, a lot of the scenes and artwork was just taken directly from that issue, making this entirely just more lazy to begin with. It was just pitiful.
I know, since we've been reviewing Age of Ultron, we haven't really liked it that much, but we've always consistently said, hopefully the ending will tie to the beginning. Didn't happen. So that just annoys you a lot, or?
So many things annoy me. That being probably one of the most primary things, that there's no cohesion between any of the storylines. It's just a different setting after a different setting with Wolverine loosely just time jumping between everything and like holding it together.
I know every single review I was saying, I can't wait for Spider-Man to come back, or I hope he comes back. He didn't come back, so fuck you, Brian Bendis.
Another problem I had was that Wolverine and Susan Storm are alive in this.
Yeah, so I don't know if we're supposed to take away that there are now 2 Wolverines and 2 Storms in our universe. We have no explanation what happened to them. Maybe they died when the universe was, like, vibrating, I guess.
My question is, they had a whole superfluous scene last issue where Wolverine kills himself. And this issue, we have a bunch of other superfluous stuff, but they couldn't at least explain that part away. Is it just going to be a different series later on? The Adventures of Susan Storm and Wolverine!
It's now been established that all this time travel has broken the space-time continuum, shattering the universes, and in the last few pages of this issue we saw the repercussions. First off, let's look at Galactus from the primary universe going into the Ultimate Universe. Any thoughts on that?
It could be the signaling of the end of the Ultimate Universe. If Galactus is there and he brings around, I guess, the end of everything, then that could be a way for Marvel to kill off that franchise if they really want to.
I don't think they'll want to kill him off, but I'm kind of curious because I know the Ultimate Universe has their own Galactus, so now they have 2 Galactuses in their universe? What's up with that?
I think it'd be even cooler if they use the dimensional tear as a way to do an Ultimate and 616 crossover event. That would be pretty cool, I think.
Well, they had Spider-Man last year where Peter Parker went and, met with Miles Morales. And there was actually one scene in that series that was never explained later where I think when Peter got back to our universe, he was Googling Miles Morales on his computer. And we didn't know what he found, so maybe that could come back.
Another thing that spins out of the ending is that Hank Pym sort of has a revelation near the end where he's like, oh, I need to do this one more thing to fix everything. And I think this is going to connect into Age of Ultron AI, which is going to lead into a whole new series.
Yeah, Avengers AI, I don't know what to expect from it yet. It looks like it's going to be Avengers unit of all, robotic beings, maybe?
I think it's going to be a lot like the Fear Itself spin-offs that were not that great.
Fearless! Obviously, the probably biggest moment at the ending of this series was Angela is now in our universe. She's from Spawn, which is an Image comic. Neil Gaiman created her, and she died in Spawn number 100. But apparently she didn't die. She fell through a crack in the multiverse and is now in the Marvel Universe.
I have no idea what to make out of this. It's cool that Neil Gaiman is going to be back in the Marvel Universe.
For the most part, it seems like this entire event was, just one long setup to get Angela into the Marvel Universe. There's really no other serious ramifications, in my opinion.
Well, I think, and this is the part that pisses me off the most, is that Age of Ultron is just a blank check for Marvel to do absolutely anything now. They basically said that space-time continuum is broken. Who knows what could happen now? So they could bring back people from the dead, they could just introduce completely bizarre scenarios, and it would all fit because of this bullshit ending.
In this issue, when the space-time continuum was shattering, and we saw all these different images teasing potential future storylines, I guess.
Most appropriate panels are probably just the glimpses of the Marvel Now landscape that we've been seeing the past few months, and now you sort of see them as shattering pieces of the time continuum. I'm not exactly sure that this is supposed to have any effect really on Marvel Now, and I'm not sure if this even has any connections to Infinity. I kind of doubt it.
I think this was more of just an opportunity for Marvel to allow themselves to reset anything they want, and as an excuse for them to sell a bunch of issues and advertise to us further.
One of my biggest questions coming out of this final issue is time travel just wrecked for everyone? I don't see that to be the case considering the all-new X-Men.
I don't think time travel is impossible now, because obviously, like you said, the all-new X-Men are now in our present, but it seems like that should degrade the space-time continuum even further. So it seems like there should be ramifications for them, for continued, time stream tampering. Basically, Fantastic Four doing the exact same thing. There's time travel all over the place, and it's just not explained at all in the larger Marvel Universe.
And Bendis is writing All New X-Men, and he wrote this, so I'm really hoping at least draw some connection, or otherwise, it's even lazier of him.
Yeah, even the Uncanny Avengers time traveling even more.
If Age of Ultron has taught us anything, and if we're supposed to take anything away from this, it means that the Marvel Universe is just going to implode soon. All this time travel, all this stuff that's going on, we're just going to be left with nothing.
Obviously, they're going to fix it, though. Maybe Flash is going to come into the Marvel Universe and do Flashpoint 2.0?
No, Quicksilver. Quicksilver is going to become the hero of the Marvel Universe. Just lying there waiting for his chance.
Now he'll fuck it up more like his sister.
So as a grade for the final issue of Age of Ultron, what would you give it?
I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. It really felt like a 0.1 issue, where Marvel is just advertising to us about all these new series that are coming out, and that kind of ticked me off. But at the same time, some of the things did pique my interest, especially Angela joining Marvel Universe. I think these changes could make for fresh and exciting new stories.
I'd give this issue a 1.5 out of 5. This series felt like a bunch of random events loosely connected by a time-jumping Wolverine. It was just a blatant excuse to retcon anything they want. It had horrendous pacing with absolutely lazy writing at the end. Couldn't Bendis think of at least a more creative solution to everything?
So thanks for watching B3 Comics review of Age of Ultron number 10. Before we go, we got a question for you guys.
What are you looking forward to the most spinning out of Age of Ultron, if anything?
I'm going to say Angela. She's definitely a cool character and could be interesting.
I'm just done with this, just wipe my hands. I'm done with this
Done with Age of Ultron?
There's nothing good that can come out of this at this point.
All right, we want to know your guys' answer as well, so leave it below in the comments, and thanks for watching.